Let's do it. Hello and welcome to the Work Hates podcast. I'm Bron Lewis. This is Brady Blake. Everyone has a nightmare work story, whether it's an awful boss, a shitty workplace, or an insufferable colleague. And if you had none of those things, chances are you are the problem.
You are the problem. Okay. Today we are joined by comedian, writer, and father Simon Taylor. 3 in a row, nailed it.
Super confident with that last credit there.
Yeah.
Father.
It's only because you said you're a new dad, but you're not technically a new dad.
Second one on the way, due March. Very exciting. How are you feeling about all that?
Yeah, pretty good. It's nice to have a little girl on the way. So my little boy now, we keep asking him, what do you want to call her? And every day it's a different thing.
Oh,
it's
so
like...
cute.
Triceratops.
Banana watermelon, I think was the last one. It was great.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah. So it's a nice time.
Because how old's Redford now?
2.5. You've cuddled him when he was, like 8 months or something like that.
And the most delightful, chill baby in the world.
He is chaos right now.
Is he? Oh,
yeah. As a
him.
toddler, he's like, oh, I want orange juice. I'm like, we're not giving you orange juice because I know what you do with orange juice. He's like, I want orange juice. And
What's
you give
he do with it?
He just pulls it straight out.
Wow, that's insane.
He just thinks it's so fun.
It's pretty funny.
It's straight thing. But but he'll just keep going like, I want it.
Yeah.
And we're like, only if you don't tip it out, and then just waits a second and bam, it's gone.
That is such
He's got comic timing.
Perfect comedy timing.
Comedy timing.
He'll go up to our legs and go, booby knees. He's got great.
That's good timing.
I think I messaged you the other day about what he did the night, because I was meant to do this Monday and you said, hey, can we postpone? I'm like, that's fine, because at 2 a.m. he came into the bedroom going, where have my eyebrows gone? Where have my... And he was inconsolable.
Oh, where had they gone? Did you shave them off?
No, they were there. He's just, I don't know, he must have had a dream about them.
Oh, he must have had a dream where he lost his eyebrows.
Maybe, I don't know, but he was just so upset.
Like, so what is your problem? Yeah. No eyebrows.
Where are my eyebrows gone?
If you don't go back to bed, my dad would have been like, if you don't go back to bed, I'll fucking take your eyebrows off. I'll shave them.
No, gentle parenting for us. We look at the experts on TikTok and it's all about gentle parenting.
I mean, even though this is not with the pod, but what do you think? Is gentle parenting a better thing? Because I'm from a school of being smacked and I feel like I'd have been worse if I wasn't, but I also don't know.
I think you need to like differentiate what the situation is, because like Redwood was nearly running across the road the other day and I put, there's no gentle parenting there. I'm like,
bang.
Yeah, dad voice. Like we do not do like, that's when you bring that out. But if he like spills a bit of cordial, you can't. That can't be the same voice.
He's not going to throw you through a wall like a 90s
that
dad.
Cannot be the same voice.
So. Okay.
I think me compared to the way as a mother compared to the way that we were brought up, like my aunties and uncles that were like would rouse on us if we got it wrong. I think I would say I'm more do way more gentle parenting, but I've got friends who are do such gentle parenting that it makes me want to vomit. Yeah. I'm like the kid is being a turd.
It's ineffective now.
Oh, it's torture to watch someone gentle parent.
Gentle parenting used to be
torture.
mum. You know what I mean? Like dad was the asshole, mum was nice. Gentle parenting, go to mum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
or grandparents, you just get,
Yeah, and Issa Nandela has this excellent bit where she said, when you have a mum and a dad, they can do like the good cop, bad cop. But when you've just got a single mum, she has to do both. So she said that she'd like get smacked by her mum. And then her mum would like turn around and said, now what that crazy lady did back there, it was not okay. Now come and give me a cuddle. It's such a good bit.
And
it's so funny.
great.
Yeah. But
that would not fuck up a child at all. No.
This
mum's schizophrenic.
Which mum am I getting today?
Yeah. I had that anyway. Yeah. But I reckon that gentle parenting, watching someone do it, and it must be torture for our parents to watch our generation gentle parent our kids, especially when they're being turds like on a plane or in a cafe.
A lot of gentle parenting going on at the Coburg RSL.
Yeah, loads.
A lot of those kids need some kicks in the fucking ass.
Well, you can't do it.
You're not allowed to do it.
I've tried. That's why I'm not allowed back.
You've already been warned.
Man, the bartender there gave some kids a spray the other week, and I was like, fucking yeah.
They would be so fed up because the parents are so excited to sit down and have a beer.
I get
with
both
their
sides.
friends. They're like, please. And there aren't like places for them to play, but the kids would push it too far and be.
They always do. Their kids.
I do try to see how long we can go in the pub without the staff telling us off, because it's just like maybe they'll maybe they'd be fine with them jumping on the stage and running around.
Oh, yeah.
I don't always ask. I keep an eye out.
Yeah,
like,
you can read a room. You're
Yeah,
comedian, so you
I
can
know
check
if they're upset, but
Yeah.
Usually it's just like, let's all test the boundaries together.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
he's throwing stuff or breaking stuff, absolutely
his-
not.
But also, if you're just
Juice
standing on a
out.
stage or something,
Yeah.
like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as long as I reckon as a parent, if you're okay with the bartender rousing on your kids, then it's okay. Like if you're one of the people like, hey, don't speak to them like that. It's like, well,
No, well, you brought them into their space.
Yeah,
no,
you're-
that's
Yeah,
fine.
if
they're
it-
allowed to rouse on them.
If I ever went to my dad like that bartender yelled at me, he'd be like, well, you probably fucking deserved it, mate.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
And get out of my pub.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'd be fine with it.
Now, so we've worked together plenty of times, and you and Brett are just about to do a tour together.
Yes, we are.
Christmas
And
comedy.
Christmas comedy.
You
in
got
the
any
beau-
Christmas gear?
Oh, man, I got so much Christmas gear. What's the deal with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I haven't got an ending to that yet, but
Hey, that's a great start.
Good premise.
Yeah.
you gotta, by the time it comes to showtime, it's going to be fire, guys. We'll see you in Ballarat and
That's gonna
Frankston.
be great.
Ballarat and Frankston. And that's good because I was saying to you before, Sam, I like going to country towns. I know Brett likes
love 'em.
going to country towns.
Same.
I did because it's just they feel like excited that you're there, whereas in the city they're kind of like, ugh, whatever. Oh, we had someone on recently who was telling us they did a gig out in Frankston, which that's I guess pretty rural, but they were
Out of suburban?
Yeah, what do you call
Suburbia.
it?
It's quite
Suburbia.
bougie now
The
because
fringe,
Frankston's right near the ocean. Like, it can be fucking...
it's expensive there,
Dude,
Yeah.
But
I love
the headliner, Ray O'Leary, couldn't go because he was he'd forgotten he was in Edinburgh. So he was like, "Oh, sorry, actually, I can't go."
It's like
forgotten I was in Europe for 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Classic.
So they
Classic
said, okay, fine. And so they had a replacement. They got a replacement, and the replacement was Jamoan.
Yeah.
And so the audience was all in there, and it wasn't full. So it wasn't like a super coveted gig. It was just it was fine. They're all sitting there with their drinks, and the host said, "Now, guys, really sorry, Ray O'Leary couldn't make it, but." Huge act.
Yeah.
Huge act. You're going to be stoked. I've never seen this person in real life. He is an icon, and I'm a little bit starstruck just being in the green room with him. You're going to love it. Put your hands together for Jamoan. And he said the audience was like, oh, okay.
They probably had seen him the week before.
Maybe,
Jim
but
does
I
a
was
lot
like,
of gigs.
does he?
Yeah, he's already...
Also, the people who would be, I would assume, the
Yeah.
people who would be obsessed with Ray O'Leary having
Yeah.
been painted, it might be
Yeah,
under
those are
30
different.
people who are obsessed with Jim Owen.
I agree. I think,
Right.
because...
I would have been stoked with either.
I would have been stoked with either as well.
I mean,
Of course.
listen, he would have delivered a great show, but yeah, I think maybe you're right. It is a different, like Ray is a very specific
Taskmaster kind, you know what I mean? Like he's got a younger following.
But also
though.
his style of comedy is a little like if you're a fan of Ray, you feel like you're like a bit of a unique comedy fan.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I like interesting comedy.
Yeah,
I like weird
yeah.
comedy.
It's like
This is
people love like,
true.
I watched everything Sam Campbell does. They're like, yeah, we know you want to be kind of cool. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
As opposed to like a Dave Hughes fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So if you go to see Sam Campbell and Hughesy walks out, like you'd be like, what?
Is this a long joke?
Is he gonna do? Is he gonna do? His PowerPoint stuff?
Yeah. I was even trying to think of this, and I was like, "What is
does he
Sam
do?
Campbell joke?" I'm like,
I don't
so
know.
hard
There's
to figure it out.
A robot with a piece of bread just
Yeah.
going to make an
It's
appearance.
always the best shit
There's
ever, but I'm
something-
like-
Yeah, so great, but I
it's
don't know how
the
the country would receive him. How do know Sam Campbell or the really quirky people go to the country? Do they?
I've seen him annihilate in some really tough
Yeah.
situations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was crushing he went through the trenches
Yeah.
before he got big.
Yeah.
It's
he
not
started in
like
Brisbane.
Gold Coast and Sydney.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He did what was the festival? Remember the music festival?
Falls?
Was
No.
it Falls Festival? And there was a comedy tent.
Yeah.
We just talked about this with Danny McGinley.
Yeah, so Sam Campbell did this whole bit. It was like a 10-minute bit on he's like, guys, this little boy has written a joke for me. He wants me to read it out. Guys, he's the sweetest grape on the vine. And it goes for ages. It's like this long anti-joke. And it was like he could still like make it work even with a crowd that was like
I've
drunk
seen him
and on drugs and whatever.
Make
I
it
love
work
that
in
man.
the worst situations, like the dog and parrot in the Gold Coast. Everyone's bombing, and then you're like, well, this is going to go awful, and then he just kills, and you're like, well, I suck at comedy.
So I thought, when I was thinking about it, I was like, there's a lot of comedians have come from Brisbane, and when I worked out that Sam was from Brisbane, when I spoke to him, I was like, so he used to do gigs at Sit Down Comedy Club. That's like the old school comedy club in Brisbane.
Clubby, very broad.
Very clubby, lots of like older crowd. And he was like, yeah, I've done that. And I said, how'd you go? Like, and he, how did you go? And he said, I just kept getting banned.
Oh, really? I didn't realise.
Because he like would throw eggs at the audience.
That's great.
Oh my God.
But you're from Melbourne, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm originally from Melbourne.
Yeah, okay, lovely. And then
I think Brisbane makes great comics, by the way. There's something about trial by fire there.
Yeah.
Because particularly the open mics there are rough.
Yeah.
Did you ever do the week when you're like, I don't know if you did. Well, you came up there, but, you know, there'd be an MC.
the Fitzies and then
The MC would come up for the week.
Yeah.
And they'd headline at Sit Down, but then during the week they'd do those.
Yeah.
I had a chair thrown at me at Indrapilli.
Who was
Oh my God, a
what's
chair
it called?
thrown at him.
The pig and whistle, is that what it is?
Maybe.
Yeah, I
That
had a
must
chair
have been
thrown.
before.
Yeah.
As a gift, they're like, hey,
This is
Yeah,
for
it was
you.
great.
you look tired.
I still got the chair.
Yeah, beautiful.
I cherish
This guy looks like he needs a rest.
right
Here you
on
go,
my
mate.
best.
Stand up. How about
It's
sit
because
down?
it was an ambush show, you know, where they just start the comedy
yes.
and people don't know comedy's on. It's one of
Worst
those.
ones.
The best ones.
Yeah, and so the guy was like, I was bloody drinking, mate. And I'm like, all right, well, let's just calm down. And then chair.
Threw a chair.
And then there was no security at the venue because it's part of a shopping centre. And the shopping centre security came and they're like, oh, it's not our jurisdiction. I'm like, it is. So
were you
this
still
guy
on
just
stage?
stayed there. No,
This guy's found a loophole in the salt.
Yeah.
The cops rock up and they go, not at the pig and whistle. We can't arrest anyone at the pig and whistle.
man, no one knows who's in charge. It's great.
I think the guy throwing the chair's the boss.
He probably was,
was.
in Brisbane for sure. He was now. And then did it hit you?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
blocked it. Like I know
That's
some bruises, but nothing.
bizarre.
Yeah, crazy.
Brisbane, yeah.
But then I'm like, I'm not doing those gigs again.
Fair. I think that a lot of people went up and did those runs and then were like, no thanks, never again. One time when I was living in Brizzy. It's true, like some really hard ones, but it's that, like,
I think that's why you're a solid comic, because you're just like, you didn't come up with crowds who were, you know, just celebrating you or on stage. They're like, you got to win me over.
There'd be some
Not walking out to...
Yeah, no one. Yes, queen.
Where does that?
It's that, but
Yeah.
that's coming out of an Uzi, and that's bullets. You know what I mean?
Isn't that slam poetry?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, none of that there.
Yeah.
And
Yuck.
we were, as a woman, walking out on stage in like a rough Queensland pub. They're like, ugh.
The bloody strippers here, mate.
That's
Yeah.
another thing I had to
Yeah.
do. There was a female comic on stage. I wish I remember her name, but she
They're
said
all
some
forgettable, aren't
joke.
they, Bronny?
They are.
Hey.
It's all right.
Hey, am I right,
There's only
boys?
3 in the
There's
country.
only 3. I should know. But it was an open micer, and she did a joke about her divorce. She's like, "Oh yeah, I just need a root." I think was the punchline. And there was a boomer bloke in the front crowd who says, "Oh yeah, all right." And he started walking on stage, taking his belt off.
This is insane.
And I had to go and just like sit him, like physically sit him down.
She's not serious, mate. It's a joke.
It
She
killed
doesn't
me.
want you
Yeah,
to root
no,
her.
that was rough on her. She was pretty shaken by that. So
That
is so
is
yuck.
awful, but like, what is going on in that man's head? You need a root? Well,
Here we
lucky
go.
I have a
Lucky
penis.
I'm right here.
What, I would have gone, get it out, cunt. He's not getting it out.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
Maybe he's going to
dude.
go,
Queensland.
Man,
no. Yeah, I ain't rolling that
He
dice.
thought it was funny. He thought he was drunk and whatever.
Yeah, it's the
but-
people who are the loudest who think they're... So Christmas time at Sit Down Comedy Club, this is when I was there, so it might have changed now, but there would it would be completely packed. The whole bottom floor, there's a balcony that wraps around the top, completely full of Christmas parties. And so
Yes.
Christmas parties are tables of people, there's one person on that table who likes comedy and
booked.
they've organised it. And everyone else on that
Just wants to drink.
they
The
just
rest
wanna
love
drink and
infinity
talk.
beers.
Yes, exactly. Or they have
Yeah.
these huge...
Because they've got a tab,
Yeah.
don't they? They got
Yeah.
the work is paying for it.
Totally.
So,
They're
yeah.
going to lean in. There were huge...
2 beer towels, thank you. You know,
yeah,
the big beer towels
novelty,
over at Sit Down?
totally. They've got novelty
Yes.
cocktail
It's
things.
blocking half the fucking audience's view.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. No one's watching.
No one's watching.
They'll see you pretty quickly because they'll get there, mate.
They're sculling.
Sucking it down. They'll see it.
Yeah.
There's
Sculling
always
it.
what I've noticed about Christmas parties is the one person who wants to be there and there's egg on their face because they got it wrong, and everyone else just wants to talk, but there'll be one person at each table who thinks they're the funniest person at their workplace, and they're there to prove to their workmates that they're funnier than the comedian. So you're on stage fighting for your fucking life. Everyone is so drunk that they're slipping off. No one's eyes are going the same direction. And there'll be one cunt from every table going, well, how about you suck my dick? And you're like, okay.
Hey, Rob, I used to do comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Give him a spot.
So I'm just writing that down. Suck
actually
my
so
dick.
funny. Yeah,
that's good gear.
Good.
And so then you have to deal with just spot fires everywhere. And there's this brilliant comedian up there called Kat Davidson. She said to me before I went on, she was like, these Christmas ones, have you ever seen monkeys sling their own shit? And I was like, yeah, I have. And she was like, you'll see it out there. And then she'll go out and she just dominates, just shut up, let me quiet.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of scared.
You got to go
enough.
teacher mode a little bit with those
Yeah,
crowds.
a cross mum, not gentle parenting mum. And then she'll come off, and then some poor cunt will get up and be like, "Hey guys, so I've got on Tinder."
I'm speaking to my therapist.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like,
Yeah, totally. So if you can, so she said to me, if you can survive these gigs, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So it makes you so. That's why we're when people are like, how are you going to heckling? I'm like, oh, it's fine because I used to be a teacher and you just get heckled all day anyway.
yes.
And then I cut my teeth in comedy in Brisbane. I'm fine. This is I'm going to be fine.
Just dealing with that emotion of a rough gig anyway, helps with corporates because when they dangle money in front of you and you go, oh, it's not going to be good, but you're like, it's fine. I've felt that feeling before. You can buy that feeling off me.
I've got
How much? Yeah, I'll feel like that again. No worries.
I've got 2 Christmas bookings already, and I'm like, yeah, the money looks great, but I just know it's going to be me standing in front of a table full of 12 people, just bombing.
Yeah, you just got to think of the money. You got to think about what you're going to buy.
Just do it. You do the time with a smile on your face.
I was like, I need that money to get through Christmas because you don't work for 3 weeks around.
Yeah,
Christmas.
exactly.
You're like, oh, fuck.
January's quiet and But I did that gig the other week where
Was it a
it was a corpy, but right before I went out, they were like, oh, we had Brett Blake. He was hilarious.
Yeah.
He did this bit about, and they were just
Which one was
raving about. This was the tradies or something. No, they're not tradies. They're like
Mitre 10?
consultants.
Oh, the engineers.
Yeah, the engineers.
Yeah.
And you did a lot of crowd work.
I
And
did
so
heaps.
now I'm like, oh, I'm going to do my gear. And I think they were expecting more of what you did. Anyway, it was fine. It was bearable. It wasn't I think by the end of it, they're like, all right, that's good. We're happy with that.
It's hard when they compare you to the person before.
But they were raving about him beforehand.
Only because I did everything they told me not to do.
Right.
So
don't chat to the crowd. And
well, they were like, just do that, keep it clean. Also, don't mention that there's only 2 women in the room at the engineer firm.
Right.
Blah, blah, all this stuff, and I went, yeah, okay. And then I went out there, and I think I kind of not. I was just in a mood, and I was like, I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want. And then I roasted the guy who brought me on. I said, if you don't want, and they said not to bring up there's only 2 chicks working here, but then they had a pie graph of the demographic split or something because they had in a presentation before. I was like, well, maybe don't put it up on the fucking pie graph, you fucking dickheads. And then I think that got them in the zone.
That's what they want. So, I mean, the person booking it doesn't want to be in trouble for letting you swear, but the actual crowd wants it. But I was just beforehand going Brady set their expectations so high. They were like, you were the perfect booking for them. And I was like,
well, he wasn't. They didn't ask him back.
No.
So
And also it was a room full of engineers. I just was calling them all dorks and virgins and shit. I literally was just bullying them for
they're
time.
just changing it up. They didn't want you to do the same year again.
they were laughing because they're scared you're going to bash them.
All right. If you get booked again next year, then we'll know the results.
Then we know.
We'll know the results. We'll see who gets the next booking.
Now, Simon, you have Bron said this to me, but I was on. You're an author now as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. I've written a couple of little bookies.
Could you tell us about that process as well? It is a work-related thing. Sorry, it just piqued my interest. So, how did you get into that, and what have you written?
Well, a book publisher saw one of my shows one year at the comedy festival.
Yeah, cool.
And it was the show about being told I was going to be a dad when this was 8 years ago, before I met my wife, this was just like from a one-night stand. I had a one-night stand, was told, hey, I'm pregnant. I'm not sure if it's you or this other guy. So I wrote a whole show about not knowing.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, this should be a novel. And so I got a book deal to write this novel. And throughout that deal, I said, I've also written a kid's book that I've been shopping around. So I got a kid's book out.
So good.
And that was just a package deal. I basically said, well, while I'm here,
Yeah.
while we're signing contracts, why don't you...
2 for 1.
Yeah. So I basically got my kid's book, Sally and the Magical Sneeze, out. And my friend Anita illustrated it. And then the novel was a long process. And it actually like has really helped just in terms of like work ethic. Like when I got to write a new stand-up show, I'm like, a stand-up show? That's 10,000 words. Where now I've written, I've had to plow through 70,000 words in like a few months.
And is it like a different process to like, obviously, stand-up shows and joke structure, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Was it a different part of your brain? Because obviously you've been a writer before in writing rooms.
Yeah.
But was that a different section of your brain you had to unlock, like more of a story mode, or was it a difficult transition?
Yeah, because you got to think of it. Well, you know what? We can fix a mistake really quickly in stand-up.
Yeah.
So like, say you're telling a story on stage and it's not working. You go, all right, well, scrap that. I'll go in this direction instead. Or maybe I should change perspective. Maybe it didn't happen to me. It happened to someone. Like you can fix mistakes really quickly. In a book, if you're 30,000 words in and go, wait a second, the character shouldn't be in this state. Or, oh, you know what? The character should have already broken up with that person 2 chapters ago. That's a lot of rewriting. So it's just a slow
See,
process.
that would have been hard that you had to take something based on a true story, something that actually happened to you and put it into...
That was actually the hardest bit.
Yeah, I imagine
because
really
sometimes
hard.
you put something in because it happened, not because it serves the story.
Yes.
So you have to like kill your darlings and go, it doesn't matter that is a true... Well, this probably happens with stand-up too. Sometimes you'll say something, it doesn't get a laugh. You go, yeah, but it happened.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I swear this actually
bit.
happened.
Yeah, yeah.
But the audience doesn't care.
Yeah.
Does it make the punchline funnier? No, then cut it.
Yeah.
And that had to happen in the novel as well, where there were things that had really happened. It's like, it's not relevant to the story. Chop it. So that was
Cutting
hard.
characters and combining characters and just making it more streamlined.
Definitely combining characters. I do that with stand-up a lot, where, you tell a story about, like, I have a story about my car getting a flat tire and a guy comes to help fix it. That's like 8 people originally involved in. I broke down with some friends and then I got rid of all the friends and then you're just trying to get it to the bare bones. And so the novel is that, but super slow.
Yeah.
Really
I would hate that. And Bron's recently written a book as well. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to ask you, number one, but I don't. At what stage? I mean, I'm just looking for the dopamine hit. Obviously, at what stage am I actually rewarded for any of this shit? You know what I mean? If I write a book and I hand to a publisher, they go, "Oh, it's been published," I'm like, oh, I need like someone laughing or a pat on the back. Otherwise, I'm like, I couldn't do it for that reason.
Have you finished? Have you delivered?
Finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday.
Maybe for me it was, oh really? Yeah. So you're on the high. For me, it's about 30 minutes after delivering the book.
Yep.
You're like, yeah, I did a good thing. And then it's gone.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
true. There's no...
is that what you felt yesterday?
Yeah. There is true. Look, when I got the...
Wettest window.
Yeah, it's the smallest window. And I'm like, it's done. And especially because I sent it to the publisher. I was like, the final edit. I sent it in. I was like, yes. I was like, I think this is good.
Yeah.
Like it's less. It was supposed to be. It's a comedy, but it's about how I went mental.
Novel? Or?
It's a memoir. So it's about because after each pregnancy I went mad.
Oh, it's a memoir, so it's non-fiction. It's
correct.
Yeah, right. I did fiction.
Yeah,
right.
but based on a true story.
Right.
Right.
Yes,
But mine, So mine is just my experience of going a bit mental after each baby I had, and also my mum went mental after when she went through menopause. So watching how like all these women just go mad around us, and we all just go
just veer off the road after
exactly.
pregnancy.
Yeah.
Oh my
and then we
goodness,
just wait for her to get better.
Sounds
We're
great.
like, yeah, she'll become good in a sec, but it's like, oh, we don't know if she'll come good in a sec. And it's just like this silent shame around like all this like the hormonal hellscape that we have to go through. Anyway, there's funny bits in it where I like truly humiliated myself a number of times, but there are bits where like are pretty rough. So I'm like writing, and in my head I'm like, who is reading this? So people only know me if like
I know your stand-up.
It's my stand-up, yeah. And it isn't stand-up. It isn't stand-up. It is a completely different thing. And for me to have to try and put that through.
They'll accept it. Yeah,
I think
for sure.
so. But I have to just, times where I'm like, I think this is a bit too heavy, or I think this is a bit, maybe I'm revealing it a little bit too much, or... put
a little picture in there or something.
Yeah, just a love heart.
Or a whoopee cushion. You know what I mean? Just, a little bit of laugh.
But I'm like, this isn't, like, I'm not promising like a laugh every minute bit. And also, if I did just make the every single bit of my experience, like just looking at the funny side of each thing, then I think that I would be doing every woman who had a hard time after having a baby a disservice to be like,
sure,
you should have just found the funny side, babe. There's a funny side there. You weren't trying hard enough. You're a sook. You're fucking sook. Okay? You're a sook.
Your leg fell off. There's heaps of gags there.
Exactly.
There's a pirate joke there somewhere.
You
Come on,
wanted
guys.
to die, and that's a bit funny. So that's
what a book. But that's the medium of the book. You get to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And and people are gonna read it and go, "This isn't what I expected," and that's okay.
That's fine.
That's
So
fine.
I always think with that stuff, it's like when you do stand up and you're doing something else, is you're showing them a different version of the same version of yourself. You get to see another level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because stand up, to a point, you're kind of a little bit disconnected and a little bit, but then that's like another layer where you get to show them, like if I do like I did a narrative show, they get to see another layer of you or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't mind taking them into that space. And I think with a book, they're not going to go, "What? Bron's written this thing," and they might go, "Oh, it's going to be joke." They get to learn something new about you.
Yeah, but they get some of that on the podcast. Like you talk about serious stuff sometimes on the podcast. So it's like every medium, like people are picking the medium. And it's fine. But so you had the Euphoria yesterday, and the next one is when it's in stores. And then I don't know how you feel, but I love signing books for people. That's like my favorite
thing. So
thing.
did you just do book signings?
I do. I sell after every gig, and I love because you can go do book signings at the bookstores.
Yeah.
But that's like I don't know. Sometimes 10 people rock up. That's not as good as at the end of a gig. People have just seen they laugh. They go, "Love the show," and you get, hopefully, and you get or they'll say, "Oh, this is for my niece" or something, and that's nice as well.
Yeah,
like your book is being gifted to someone. So anyway, so those are the 3 moments you get of gratification.
Oh, that's nice.
You don't get it writing. Like
that's why I struggle to sit in front of a computer.
You don't get that
feedback. I'm like, I rather go to the stage with an idea that's shit house and bombs. At least bombing is a feeling I'm getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even when you get someone to read a chapter or, a mate to read a bit, like it's really hard to take feedback. Like it's really brutal when they'll say, because you spend so long on it from idea to like devising it to writing it to editing it, and then feedback feels way bigger than stand up. You go, "Let me try this idea." No, fuck it, whatever, it's just an idea.
Especially with yours, because it's based on an experience that you have had. For them to go, "I didn't really find this bit interesting." You're like, "That was interesting. It hurt my heart. It hurt my feelings."
It hurt my heart. Yeah.
So what I just sent to my publisher said, you need to let everyone whose features in the book they have to read it, because you can't. You don't know who's going to get upset. Yeah. And once it's printed, it's too late.
Yes.
So I had to send it to my family. No one read it. I think my mum read it because she was like, "Is it about me?"
It's not rude.
Yeah, but there definitely is parts about you, Helen. Don't worry. My mum was really funny. She said she read it, and I said, "What do you think?" And she said, "Well, I mean, you write well," but I was like, "What? What?"
Well, you're right.
And she goes, "Can you please take out the bits where I smoke?" And this is while she's having a smoke. And I go, "Why?" And she says, "Because some people think I've quit, Bronnie." I'm
that
like,
was
who the fuck thinks you've quit?
No
I'm like,
one.
Who won? Yeah, exactly. No one, Helen. Yeah. Anyway, I think I've taken out. I don't even think
they can see the smoke coming out of your chimney, mate. They know. They think there's a new pope's been elected.
She's rolling a ciggy with a piece of paper out of the book.
Yeah, that's good.
The chapter about you smells like ciggies. Like I can't help
That's good.
it.
A scratch and sniff as well. That'd be good.
Oh, is that Helen?
Lucas read, he hasn't even read the whole thing, and so he features in so much of it. This is my partner, but he just Googled mother-in-law because the search thing, he Googled mother-in-law and Yola, his mum's name, because he was like, I just know that you've written something about her. And I was like, I have. It's nice though. And he goes, can you please just let me decide that? So he reads it and he was like, okay, I just need to ask her. So he calls her up and says, you don't have to read the whole thing, Mum, but like Bron's told this story and this story. And one of the stories is when I turned up to Lucas's sister's baby shower, which was at his mum's house. Turned up to that baby shower. I had my 2 girls with me and Ari, the newborn, was at home. I turned up, I was like drowning in postnatal depression. I could not have been sadder. And I just turned up to be like, wow. And Lucas's mum, who's got no like tact at all, God bless her, she means well, but never comes across that way. She comes over and she goes, where's Lucas? I said, he's at home with the baby. And she goes, why didn't he come? And I said, because someone needs to stay home with the baby. And she goes, yeah, again, why didn't he come? And I was like, oh, I see. The wrong adult came. And I was like, okay, you're right. I shouldn't be here. Anyway, I put this in the book to show just I wouldn't have wanted me there either, okay, because I was that much of a wet blanket. But Lucas tells...
Is that how you interpreted it, that she didn't want you...
She just wanted her son there because she's Polish as well, and they just want their sons always like breastfeeding that. Anyway, she walks... I put this in the book and Lucas says, Bron's put the story about you questioning why I didn't come to the baby shower. And she goes, that didn't happen. Oh. And I was like, yes, it fucking did. And Lucas goes, well, she can't remember it. So
it's a core memory for you.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
it's attached to a lot of emotions.
Does that mean you have to take it out then?
So I took it out.
Because she can't remember it.
Because she doesn't, and it's also like she's older. Like she would have like lots of emotions going on for her that day. It was a big day for her. She wouldn't have meant it in a nasty way, but for me, being as sensitive I was that day, I took it badly, and I was like, okay, well, you're right. Oh, God's sake, I'm not welcome anywhere. And then, and so I just was like, what am I fighting for? This bit, like it's not important to the book,
right?
But for me, it was an important moment, but it wasn't important to the book. Do you know what I mean? Like
yes.
what
so
you're saying before,
yeah.
And it was also important to Lucas's mum for that to not be in there. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to fight anyone on this, it doesn't matter. So I just took it out. But I have put it into a podcast, and that's what she said to me.
That's what actually happened.
I was like, do you know this is recorded?
Yeah.
It's fine. She can't remember it. But this entire podcast is about dreadful jobs. What's the worst job you've ever had, Simon?
I was thinking about this. I don't know about worst. Can I say the hardest job?
Definitely. Yeah. You can say whatever you want. So the hardest
I worked with kids with autism.
Oh, yeah.
So they were like 2 to 5 years old, and they had extreme behaviours, extreme tantrums. And there was one kid who was like throwing little chairs, like the kiddie chairs through the TV.
Did you go to your gig in Brisbane?
Yes, that was him.
Yeah. I was like, dude, I think it's you. This kid's throwing, the adult's throwing a chair. Dude, I think it's your vibe.
I feel like throwing a chair right now.
Wait a second, this is my fault all along. I'm a chair magnet.
I didn't realise that was a problem.
Yeah, so he would like smash windows and like try to grab pencils and try to scratch it. He was like 3 to 4.
So
and how did you end up in this job? Did you want to work in early childhood or education in that field?
I was working with. I was studying psychology, and I was trying to get out of working in restaurants.
Yeah,
because restaurants were like basically what I used to do was I went to Melbourne Uni, so it's near Lygon Street. And I would get a job at a restaurant. They'd pay like $10 under the table an hour, and I'd work for the weekend, pay my rent, and quit the job. And I did that maybe 8 restaurants across Lygon Street.
Here he comes. He'll be at us next.
Until what they started doing was paying you a week late. Because they had such a turnover from like backpackers and stuff doing that. So there was one restaurant who kind of like called me on my on my approach, who was like, all right, you work this weekend, but we pay you after next weekend when you work next weekend.
So you have to do 2.
So I did 2 and then quit.
Okay. Oh, so they pay. Okay.
I love that I only need to make $400.
Yes.
And then what else would I need? Pay my rent, and then you like just lie in your room with no food.
So I was just trying to find another job at the time, and I was just like, if I stick to this restaurant, then I'll just be working in restaurants for the rest of the year. So I'm like, I'll do it, I'll quit, and then I'm forced to job search. And after maybe 6 months, I found, ABA therapy, applied behavioural analysis therapy, working with kids with autism, and they wanted like people studying psychology. They wanted students because when you're a junior therapist, you're just you're not like diagnosing, you're not deciding on the therapy. You're just basically administering the therapy, which is, hey, come sit down. Great job. And then you got to be reinforcing. So it was that
hard. That would have been hard.
Yeah, it was hard, like some really extreme behaviors, but it makes me so much more chill as a parent. Like my son will have a tantrum for 2 minutes. I'm like, rookie numbers.
You're like, weak.
He's trying to get a reaction
Didn't even
out
get
of
a chair
you.
in my face.
Didn't even break the TV.
Pour the orange juice out, cunt. That's easy.
Yeah,
I don't care. I can wipe that up.
I can do that. Yeah, well, you're
got a
not
mop, go
scratching my
nuts.
eyeballs. Yeah, I would have scratches on my arms from the kids, like
Yeah.
tantruming and like,
Oh
and
my
bruises
gosh.
and
Were they
things
there
like
5 days a week?
I was there. No, because you do a session. You do like a 3-hour session.
Okay.
So I might do 3 sessions in a week. So
Gives you a
3-hour
lot
sessions.
of perspective, doesn't it? When you work with
massive.
kids with
Like the parents were like still grieving, particularly when the kids were like really young. They were like, but maybe this will be the way out of this and whatnot.
and finding people to blame. That's why so many people
Grandparents
I think,
blame like
oh.
the in-law, like
Yes, the other family.
the other family. Yeah. That's
not in
horrible.
ours.
Yeah, it's
No
not
one
in
in
ours.
our
That's
family
not
looks
out.
like
Yeah.
that.
What an awful thing. You're already going through a stressful thing of, raising someone with a disability, and then it becomes a blame game.
Yeah,
and
what
a-
did you do?
What did
you eat during the pregnancy?
Yeah,
like,
it's
like-
horrible stuff.
It just sometimes happens. You know what I mean? Like you can't control genetics and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then being blaming each other. It was like it's really hard. I'm assuming it'd be so hard to raise someone with a disability like that.
Well, a big part of it was just supporting the family and just going, all right, this is what we all need to do, because that was the hardest bit. Like what we were meant to do was not let the kid get like away with not doing a task. So if it's like, all right, sit down, we're going to do some drawing, because we're getting them ready for school.
Yes.
Because if they tantrum, go, I'm not sitting down, and they tantrum for an hour, they can't go to school. We're just trying to get them to a place
So get it out now and to a place where they can
just try to get to a place
structure.
where they get into a regular school and have an aid rather than have to go to, because if you do early intervention is what it was called, then you can actually support them to a place where they can get to a regular school.
What a great thing.
So we were trying to get to that. And so let's just say I said, all right, come sit on the chair, and the kid's tantruming. Sometimes the parents couldn't handle the tantrum. I could, because it was my job. It was tough, but it's like they'll tantrum for 30 minutes and then they get tired, and then I go, come sit down. They sit down, and then I reward them. Oh, you did so great. That was amazing. You sat down. Next time the tantrum's going to be 10 minutes. Then it's going to be 5 minutes. It's going to be 1 minute. And then we'll get to a stage where they don't tantrum. They just come, sit down. They get heaps of rewards.
Yes.
But what would happen is 30 minutes into the tantrum, the mum or the dad or the grandmother can't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
They come in, give them a
Reward it.
hug, give them some chocolate, calm them down. So now they know, oh, I just tantrum for 30 minutes now.
Yeah.
And now it's harder for me.
Yeah.
Now when the parents are away, the tantrum is 45 minutes, 50 minutes, because they just go, well, I'll just keep going till mum
I get
comes
a-
in with chocolate.
And I get a cuddle in a minute.
I get a cuddle. So that was really hard. It was managing, and I'm 19, 20 years old.
Wow, and
So who am I to say to a parent like,
Oh my
can you
God.
not hug your child?
I actually know heaps more than you.
Oh my God.
Excuse me, can you, keep some distance away
I've got
from your
this from here.
crying child?
Oh my
Like
God, I
with this
would hate
19-year-old guy
Yeah.
who I'm pretty sure I saw at an Italian restaurant last weekend
Yeah, yeah.
serving me.
Yeah, so that was really hard. There was one kid, I think he was about 4 at the time. At one point, I was like trying to get him to sit down, and he's like, I'm not a dog, I'm a boy. And his mum heard that, and she was like, I'm done with this therapy stuff.
Wow.
I think she wound it up after that, because she just couldn't handle the intensity, because it's really hard on the kids. Like they're basically,
it would be confusing.
it's
Especially if
draining.
there's different rules at home, and then you come and then there's strangers telling you.
Well, I
actually
come to their house. I
you
go
go
to
to
their, I go to their houses.
house.
Yeah. So part of it too was making sure it was consistent, not just what we did, but the parents had to keep it up. So I said, little things like, just say the kid's nonverbal, and we'd want them to, I think it was called PECS, where it's pictures. And so if they wanted some food, they would go touch the picture. And it's just getting them to communicate, because that was the hard thing, is they'd want something and they just tantrum and cry, and you have no idea what they're doing. So PECS was good, because you knew they wanted food or they wanted a toy. And you would just try to make sure, like, don't give them the thing unless they use PECS. If they want the cheese. They have to touch cheese.
Yeah.
But then the parent would, just go, do you want cheese? Do you want this? Do you want that? It's like
they're
now
tired.
you're taking away that skill. So that was this is the hardest part of the job was, come on, parents, do what we're, trying to make sure.
Especially when you're looking at them and they're so tired.
They're exhausted.
Like, how do I tell you?
And they also just want their kid to be normal so bad that they're like, if I just act like it's not there, we'll just bypass this thing. So that was the toughest job ever. Yeah. So I did that for 4 years. I think I worked with about
a long time.
13 different kids.
And now you probably see most of them in green rooms.
Yeah, they come
around there.
Some have come to the.
I'm like touching the beer. Yeah. He remembered. He remembered. That's me.
Some have come to gigs actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
grown
nice.
up now. Yeah, because I did it when I was at uni. So.
And have you seen a lot of them that are on a good path, or they're on?
A lot of they've found job like the severe cases. They've found jobs that they can do that are not fully too social because that was a difficulty. So, but yeah, like definitely if they didn't have that early intervention, there's a lot of good research that was effective. There's controversy about it all the time. Like people are like, this is just who they are. Let them be. Yeah. Okay, some people it's a personality thing. Some people it's a neuro, divergent. But some kids were smashing their heads into the wall. Yeah. So that's a pathology now. It's not just a personality trait. Yeah. That's legit. So some of these kids were like, brutal, some of the behaviours.
You're right, there is controversy around whether I know that it was like Emma Rossiano mentioned that she's a little bit torn about all the treatment because she's been diagnosed with autism. Her son has autism, and she was like, all of the work that you do with my son, it's all about how making him fit into the world that we live in. Where it's like, why can't he just be in his world? Like his world looks way more fun than this one. And I can see where she's coming from, and I appreciate that the desire to want to protect your son and to not have to mold him into a world that's actually quite dismissive of him. But I used to, when I finished teaching, I did tutoring online with kids, just as Zoom because it was COVID, and it was all autistic kids. Yes. And it was we'd get through a bit of schoolwork, but other stuff I'd do would be like, okay, they'd ask them questions like, how have you been? Let's call him Martin. How have you been, Martin? Yeah, good. And no eye contact, fine. I don't care about that, but I'm like, cool. So this is a point where you'd ask me, how am I? And they'd be like, how are you? And then I'd answer, and he would have nothing to say after that because, again, it's a social cues, and I'm not going to take it personally. But I'm like, why do you think you need to ask me? It's just about recognising someone and making them feel like you care that they're there.
Yes.
Even though you might not necessarily.
This is the tricky thing with diagnosis is that what level is someone just a bit cold personality, fine, that's just who they are, or at what level is, oh no, this is actually, going to be tough for you in your life. Yeah. This is now a pathology, and we all struggle with this because it's just there's a book, there's a manual that said here are the 5 symptoms, and now we're left to psychs are left to go, all right, this is exactly how much eye contact you need to totally. What is that number? They don't there is no percentage of eye contact that we can all state, but it's a cluster of behaviors and how much it affects you, and that's why it's really difficult to give everyone the same label of autism. But the reason they do it is for government funding and support, because you can't get the support unless your kid has an official diagnosis. Yes. Yeah, so you want the label so you can get the support for their needs, but you don't want the label because that kid with autism is not exactly the same as that kid with autism. Yeah. So it's so tricky.
None of the ones that I tutored, I'm like, oh, you're just like Martin. They're all
so different. That's why, isn't that why they kind of use the spectrum term or whatever? Yeah. But I was going back to the end point. I was like, that's a good point. Why do they have to? Because I always felt, because I always, ADHD, couldn't concentrate in school. It's like, well, who the fuck wants to sit in the classroom and stare at a black and white chalkboard?
Yeah.
But I get that at the end of the day, society is built for me to go to work so I can pay my fucking taxes, and the government's stoked. So they're kind of doing that.
How long have we been in classrooms as humans? Hundreds of years?
Not
maybe?
even, it's not even normal.
Yeah. So your brain would have been hunter-gatherer perfect. Oh, there's that in the tree. Something's going on over there. I need to do perfect for certain like conditions, and now we go, "Ooh, this is a problem."
Yeah, cool. We've
No, hold on.
got to medicate this guy who would probably live longer than everyone out in the forest. You know what I mean?
So both things are true. There are people who have severe versions of this stuff that we need to address and support, and there are people who are being forced into a rigid system.
Yes.
Both things are true.
Yeah.
Both things are true.
I don't think it's one or the other.
So did you, after 4 years of working with autistic kids, what did you do after that?
Started writing jokes, baby.
Oh, is that how you got into comedy?
I know. I wrote.
You're like, I need a break from this chaos.
No, I got Jay Leno. Jay Leno was. I got that, and I basically.
How did you get Jay Leno? Were you over there or were you here?
Yeah, I did a gig in LA, and a producer from The Tonight Show was at the gig. Took me to the show. I met Jay afterwards and just kind of like broke his balls a little bit. I'm like, I could write for you, you know. I was just being a larrikin. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, send jokes in. And then I sent jokes in and had the job the next day. And then I was still working with kids with autism. I think I wrapped up because I was
when you're running for him for ages as well, like
about 2 years,
right.
So from Australia.
Yeah, from Australia, but going back to LA and
Cool.
and touring, I started to tour a bit more. So I think it was my first. I'd been doing shows. I did like magic and improv and music, like singer-songwriters. So I was always performing.
Magic.
I did magic for a little while.
Oh my God, I did not know that about you.
So
How do you feel about the jokes about magicians? Or magicians' reputations?
I don't care. I'm a recovering magician.
Yeah, I got. Yes, you don't have to cover your drink, Ron.
I think they're hilarious.
Okay, good.
I think, magicians are weirdos.
Yeah. I did not know that about.
Well, because I just wanted to be on stage, obviously. Sure. Like I tried improv, but I didn't like the team part of it.
You want to be by yourself.
And I think I'm definitely more of a writer because like I'll see a scene taking place. I'm like, well, this is what we should do.
Yeah.
And I want to tell everyone like this is where the scene should go, but you're meant to collaborate. So I didn't like that. I didn't have a strong enough voice for singer-songwriter. Like I enjoyed performing, but I didn't have that strength. And then stand-up was just like, oh, this is the best format. This is the best one for me. So
freedom.
Oh, it feels so good.
Freedom and just a clear. In fact, I know that you sometimes discuss worst gigs on this.
We'll be asking.
Well, it leads into it. So I was doing magic for a while. So I had a magic set. I had like a 20-minute magic set. And then I kind of started putting 5 minutes of stand-up at the start. So I would open for myself. So
so you did magic before you did stand-up.
Yeah. So I wanted to do stand-up. And I'm like, oh, well, I've got this magic gig booked.
Yeah, what am I going to do with this pigeon?
I'll do exactly. I'll do some crowd work with the pigeon. I do 5 minutes of gear up top, and then I'll do the magic at the end. And then eventually the stand-up took over and the magic went away.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of, was always...
just faded out.
Faded out. And I had a good advice from Nick Cody when I started doing stand-up. He's like, you've got this rigidity to you as a magician because everything is scripted with magic. It's like, stand here, do this, hold this. You have to go through instructions and you're just throwing gags in along the way. And he said you carry yourself like a magician when you do stand-up. And he's like, you need to knock that out of...
Pretty funny, Nick Cody telling you not to be rigid when I haven't seen that man move his neck on stage.
Yeah, no, but that's
does not move. Like, you trying to fight the microphone, are you, champ?
That's a medical condition, I think.
He looks like a staffy.
Yeah, he is a staffy.
Yeah,
I love him.
That's years of rugby.
Locked in, locked and loaded.
It's true. He does do that. He doesn't move at all. He just kind of like pivots a little bit.
Yeah, but he's conversational, and I think that's where that's the advice I got from him, which helped a lot. So anyway, so magic was there.
And then where'd you perform? At kids' parties? Where'd you do?
I did no corporates mainly. I wouldn't do kids' parties.
How did you get into magic? Were you just like, okay, I know a few tricks, and then you just...
It was pretty exciting as a kid. I remember watching magic and being like, whoa, because it was all those TV shows on there.
Yeah, I didn't get into it until I was like 19.
Okay, well then I try to help you out there, brother. I'm out.
Yeah, I should have known better by that stage. Yeah.
So this was a time where you were working
at uni.
Yeah.
And actually, it was part of when I was working with kids with autism, I would pick up little tricks and then I would like enjoy learning off YouTube. And then, I would do magic tricks with the kids with autism.
And is that where your worst ever gig comes from?
My worst ever gig was when I was booked for Bond University and it was like all 18.
In Gold Coast?
Gold Coast.
Yep.
And it was 18 and they booked me as a magician. And so they booked me for 40 minutes. I'm like, I can do 40 minutes.
If I do the tricks really slowly.
But you know what I thought I would do was 20 minutes of magic and then 20 minutes of stand-up. So I do my magic, goes really well, and then I start doing my stand-up, and I maybe had 5 minutes that worked. And after that, I thought, oh, well, I'll just try some new stuff. I had ideas, and I think
I've got ideas, guys, and you're about to hear them.
And the joke was something along the line. So I'd done 25 minutes, and I had them for 25 minutes.
Great.
And I was crushing because I was doing tricks and everything. They loved it. And then I hit them with, hey, is it immoral to let a dog lick peanut butter off your balls?
Yeah.
And then they were turning chairs around. Like is he
going to get a dog out here and the dog disappears?
Oh my God,
and
no, this is bad. And then I just tanked it, and they were like leaving, turning their chairs around, like yelling, like this is fucked. It was horrible.
This is awful.
And it was, and I stayed on for another 15 minutes trying to win them back with no material, with hey, what do you crowd work and what?
Why you turned around?
But this was the worst ever gig because I had them and I lost them.
Yeah, because you got them because you're doing the shit that you're good at magic, you're doing that, and then you're like,
I was an open micer.
Yeah, but should have been in the middle more, or
So I was an open micer who had gotten a professional's job because I'd kind of was professional magic. I was good enough to do professional magic, but an open micer, I'd hijacked the gig.
Okay.
In a way.
Did you say I'll do a mixture of stand-up?
Yeah.
Or you?
No, I don't know. No, I think they just booked me as magic.
Yeah, and you said I know.
I said to myself, I got this.
I love the blind confidence, though. You're like, you know what? I'm not even going to prep them. I'm just going to start talking.
And they'll be glad.
They'll be happy.
You're welcome.
But that was the worst because sometimes you do a gig where you're like, there's nothing I can do here.
Yeah.
Like it's done. You get on stage and they're not listening or it's a corpy, they just want to get drunk or whatever. And you go, there was nothing I ever could have done to win that crowd over. And you kind of feel absolved. You go, all right, that was a
I've done everything I can do.
That was a bomb, but that was not my fault. That was a bomb.
Yeah, no one could have won that.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way I could go back in time and fix that. Well, this was I had them. They loved me. They were amazed by it. They were laughing at the jokes throughout the magic because I had a lot of comedy in the magic. Yeah. And then I go, guys, I'm going to be a Jim Jeffries style stand up. I'm going to start doing some edgy gear. Because when you're an open micer, you're trying
everything you
see. And, you try
really
edgy jokes, you try gross jokes, you try whatever. You work blue to see if that works. Just tanked it so hard. And I was staying at a friend's place in Gold Coast. And she was away, so she's like, just stay at my house.
Great.
And I was just in a coma for 3 days. I had no one to talk, because after a bad gig, it's nice to talk to comics.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a big help to talk to comics. And I was just I was a new comic. I was an open micer, and I didn't know anyone to call. And I was just that was so painful. Yeah,
yes.
I still remember that feeling.
I think one of my first bombs, because it was just talking to people afterwards, the worst bomb I ever had was when I was my 6th ever gig. It was David Rowe's gig. It was out of Mitcham, and I was second on, and I was so new. It was a brand new set. Even though it was my 6th gig, I'm doing all new because I was
That's how comedy works, right?
Yeah, you don't do it again because there might have been someone from my last one 40 kilometres away.
Cut to 9 years later, and you're doing the same opener for 10 shows in a row. Yeah. No one knows.
No one knows. But it was Hoops was hosting. She crushed, and then Eve Ellenbogen, the New York comedian, she was, when she was based here in Melbourne, she got up and just destroyed with all really blue stuff.
Yep.
And I was side of stage, and I was like, this
is
is great. I'm going to be fine out there. And Hoops had said to me before I'd gone on, this is before she started, she was like, how you feeling? Do you want to run through anything? I was like, no. Why would I need help? I have done 5 gigs before this. And then I was 300 people there, and I bombed so hard. I could see people looking at each other wincing at how badly it was going. It was the worst. And I was like, oh gosh, this is... really, 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 really awful. And then I think I might have got one giggle at the end, and I just a kind one from a few people, and I was like, yeah, okay, well, okay, it wasn't all for nothing, I guess. And then I put the microphone, like even the noise of the microphone.
Oh
again,
no,
I was so new. I didn't know you were supposed to put it in beforehand. Yeah. Hoops. Then like a smattering of claps as I left the stage. Absolutely soul destroying, especially because I could see the point of comparison of Eve, like how much she crushed. And so I go into this green room, which is like the pub's office. I went in there and I was like, oh no, there was a woman from Singapore. It was one of the acts, Eve
Ting
and Hoops.
Lim?
No, a different. I think she's based in Singapore.
Right.
That we were all in the room together, and I said, "Oh my god, that was so bad." And Hoops was like, "Hey!" She's so nice. Hey, that wasn't a bomb. I heard laughter. A bomb is no laughter.
Yes.
And I was like, "No, that really felt
that was a bomb.
That was
a bomb.
It was absolutely.
You round down.
Yeah, and the
You count all the laughs and go, well, it was nearly zero. So.
Oh, exactly. It's around, and this lady from Singapore was like, "No, I thought it was funny, and I think I heard people laughing. It was funny."
As soon as anyone's helping you,
yeah,
it's a bomb.
No. I was like, "I know."
If someone has to convince you, you got laughs.
I know.
Be quiet.
Like I felt like I had a nosebleed. It hurt that much.
Yeah.
And then Eve was like, "Oh no, that was a bomb.
Yeah,
that was a bomb. That was."
Thank you, Eve.
And I was like, "Oh," and it hurt at the time, but she said, "You just weren't ready for this gig."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." Again, I was a bit offended. I was like, "Yes, I am. I was ready for a gig," but she was absolutely right. I was not ready for that gig, and I was. No one knew it was my 6th ever gig. I was following a professional comedian, and I was going, "I'm the same, guys," and I wasn't. So I was given grace. I was given absolutely no grace, because Hoops even said, "Do you want me to mention you knew?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I've done 5 gigs." There's no point. It's absolutely no point. And so then when I died, and Eve, and it hurt so much at the time, but now looking back, I'm like, she was spot on. I was not ready for that gig. I was unprepared because I'd never done that stuff before. Well, you can't do new at a 300-seater, even when you're like an established comedian. Like, it's just not what you do. And also, I didn't know anything. So I should have said, "Can you mention I'm new?" All of this stuff, but I didn't know any of it. So there is definitely such a thing as not being ready for a gig, and if you get a gig too soon, it actually sets you back, and that gig is like stuck to my bones, just like your Bond gig. You were not ready to do 40 minutes
I always
of
think
magic.
about Simon, like, because the worst part is like you've bombed, but you've got to pack up all your shit.
Yeah, that's
So you're just there for another 15 minutes.
That's
in my
really
mind, you have a pigeon. I know you don't have a pigeon, but the pigeon's got a one. You're like, fuck.
I gotta go.
I've
someone
got
help
2
me?
hours trying to lure this pigeon down off the road. Like, come on, please. I need to fucking leave this venue. Fuck. It's worse when you have to pack down the gear, or you're emceeing and you're bombing and you got to hang.
Yeah, and then the person who booked you's there, and
Oh, dude, cash up
and
front.
they're saying the same things, like, "Oh, I heard some laughs," or like, "Oh, it's a tough crowd." Like, that's I hate hearing that after a gig.
I
Gee, it was a
know,
tough
just-
crowd. Just okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what
They were fine.
I don't know what I want to hear from people, but I don't want to hear. I heard someone laughing.
That's bad.
Just
I heard
nothing's
someone
fine.
laughing.
That is
No,
what
that's
I
it.
want to hear at all.
That's definite.
Now we're going to wrap up now, but we kind of add a little extra bit for the Patreons. So if you're not on there, jump in and you get the extended version of this podcast. Assuming Simon has a story for it. If not, I'll cut around
I'll
that. 'cause
tell
I'm
you what
very
I really
professional.
think.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, that's what we
Well,
want.
that's what we did. We added a new segment in, and it's called "Who is the biggest cunt you've ever worked with?"
Oh.
But you don't have to give out names. It could be a boss, could be a previous employee, it could be
Yep.
anything, and you might not even have a story because we haven't even prepped you for this because we only came up with it 2
liked-
minutes ago.
No, we did it today. We did it with Danny McGinley, and he
McGinley.
said afterwards, he goes, "My only feedback is I wish you'd given me some time to think about that."
So it
'cause I know
turns out we're the
exactly who
biggest
it is.
cunts.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are the biggest cunts. So for those who aren't on the Patreon, the episode finishes now. Thank you, Simon Taylor. Thank you so much
Yay,
for coming
thank you.
on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Simon, for
Thanks,
joining us
Simon.
on today's
Thank you.
episode of the Work Hates podcast. Where can people find you on social media?
I'm angry now, guys.
Yeah,
You got
I
me
can
riled up.
Well, the normal podcasts don't
What's
know
going
about what
on?
you're angry about, so that's why you've got to listen to the Patreon one, because you're coming in really nice, then we cut it, and then we go...
friggin' Taylor, only on Patreon.
Oh, this is on the main normal episode.
Yeah.
So where can people find you on social media?
Simon Taylor Funny Boy on Instagram. Go to my website for all the gigs. We've got our gigs listed there.
Yes, we do.
SimonTaylorComedy.com. Doing Shepparton soon. We've got Ballarat, we've got
Frankston.
I've got Good Chat in Brizzy.
Oh, nice.
And a couple of other things.
And your 2 books, where can people get those?
They are on my website. Everything's on my website.
Awesome.
Everything's on the website. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. If you're not on the
Thanks, mate.
Patreon, make sure you do so because there's an extended version of this episode on there. It's $5
Simon
a month.
loses it.
Where Simon and Brett lose it. There you go. Thank you very much for joining us. Love ya. Bye. I've been fired from a lot of places. I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets. Kill me.